Hello hopefuls, and today I want to share with you a very easy Dollar Tree DIY that you can do for Easter, spring, or for a church function. I will make sure to put all of the materials down in the description box so that you will know which items to get and try this DIY for yourself. So let's get started. You'll first need some E6000 glue and some of these shadow boxes from Dollar Tree. I have tons of them around my house because I love different signs, and I wasn't using them as often, so I thought I would do some kind of flower shadow box, but I thought about this cross DIY that I could do with these boxes. So you will need 3 of the long ones, and then you will need 2 of the little square ones. You're simply going to just lay them lengthwise and then 2 across at the top, and make sure that they're even. Use the bottom of the first box as a guide to make sure that the horizontal cross part of it is even. Once you have everything laid out as a guide of how you want to place it, then you can go back with your E6000 glue and you're going to just glue all the pieces together. And you want to make sure that you put enough that it will stick together. And once this all dries, you may want to let it dry overnight. So you're going to glue those 2 pieces together. And I also decided to use some clips, which you'll see in 1 second. But another option, what you can do, guys, is you can use some floral foam. And I end up using the other side, but my original plan was to use this side and to add the flowers or the moss on this side. But I didn't do that because I was like, hope it'll be easier just to do the other side. So it just depends on what you want to do with your DIY. You may want to use this side and fill it with flowers, moss, and some flower foam, and just see what works best for you. It's really easy to shift, so you want to maybe hold it for a couple of minutes. And then I had these clips. I also got these from Dollar Tree like years ago. They still may have them, and I use them to clip them together so they won't shift. Now we're going to take the smaller rectangle boxes and going to make the cross at the top here, and I am using the very bottom part of the rectangle, the very first one, as a guide to make sure that they are even on both sides, because I don't want to have one higher than the other. Now that my board is completely dry, I will only stand it up, and you only want it to stand up if it's completely dry because the boards will fall apart. But I'm just showing you a view here, and I let it dry overnight. Now I'm going to use some Waverly chalk paint from Walmart, and this is the ivory color. You can use whatever color that you would like of your preference. And I did about 2 coats of the paint. Now for the next part of this project, you would just need some reindeer moss, some floral moss, and some Spanish moss. It's up to you. You can use all of the same type of moss. You don't have to use the different ones, the variation, but I just wanted the look of all the different types. Also, if you can come across the floral moss sheets, that will be awesome, but I could not find them in my local Dollar Tree. So now you're just gonna take pieces of the moss and you're just gonna hot glue different pieces. It doesn't have to be a certain way or a certain form or fashion, but just how you prefer it. But I just did a little bit mix of reindeer moss, some of the floral moss, and then I went back with little pieces of the Spanish moss throughout. As you're working, you want to pull those strings of hot glue that you will see throughout your greenery, and just so it won't be so much when you're done and you have to pick out so much hot glue. So just do that periodically. This DIY can be messy, so make sure you're on a surface or protect your floor covering that you can sweep up really easily, or you can just take all of the bits and pieces and clean it up really easy, because it's kind of messy, but it's worth it in the end. And so I just took some ribbon here and just made it like a drape over the sides. I'm going to put this on my front porch, and then I used a willow small wreath as the crown of the cross. I had some extra floral garland which I will use to wrap around the willow wreath, and I will show that in 1 second. That is a part of a wreath that I did a really quick DIY that I'm showing you guys right quick. And I picked up this bloom from the Target One Spot either a year or 2 ago, never used it. And then I also picked up this floral garland that I think I was going to use on a tablescape and never did. And then I picked up a new willow wreath, and then I'm also going to use some floral wire. The willow wreath is from Walmart, so you can get them, but actually for my door I probably need a larger one, and since I made this video, they have larger ones, and it is cheaper or the same price with a 50% off coupon or more at Michael's for a larger size. So all I'm doing, guys, is I'm just using my wire, floral wire, and I'm just attaching the garland to the wreath. I wanted something really simple, not a lot of fuss. Sometimes I do have to remove my wreath because I have an issue with birds making a nest in them, so you know, I just don't invest in a lot of time, especially if it is the willow wreath. And then right here, I'm just deciding how I'm going to place the bloom, and it worked out great because it has wire around the wreath itself, so I was able to stick the front of the letter of the B and the M right in the groove of the wire, and then I use some wire at the loop of the top of the L, so it worked out really well. So this is what it looks like on my porch. I'm so glad how it turned out. It's still a little chilly and had a couple of storms where I had to bring it in, but right now I'm showing what it looks like sitting on top of this plant topper or flower holder. And here it is with the flowers, and I did add some butterflies from the Target one spot. I took them off of the picks and just hot glued them onto the cross. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching as always and supporting. I appreciate you guys so much. And don't forget to share this video, comment below, and you can use this all year round for church functions, for theater arts, whatever you may need to use this DIY. So happy Easter, guys. Bye bye. And remember, there's always hope.